I'm Laura Cadden. Francisco Bermea is the one that brought you that fabulous music while you were waiting. Say hi, Francisco. It just took us a lot of faith. There he is. He's also vetting the chat. So he's the one you're going to give your request to next week.
I will say, Fran has the best background out of all of us.
Absolutely.
I worked hard on it.
And the best shirt, the best lamp, best beard at the moment. Maybe we'll have a Francisco show soon.
We should. He has great hair too, doesn't he? It's great.
You're not listening to my podcast already, Lance?
Lost it. So with us as well, besides Francisco, of course, we have Lance Ippolito, we have Jeff Zananeri, and Roger Scott.
Hey, everyone.
So lots to talk about this week. But first of all, there was a lot of winners that were happening today, the past few days. Lance, do you want to talk about your big gainer today?
Well, we did a training yesterday with the indicator, and like a minute before the bell, bought some lucid puts. Those worked out. Had an order of about 2,000 lucid November 13 puts come across the tape. That was fun. Had some Mickey Mouse calls for wiretap that closed Monday and then yesterday. Thank God. Shares down almost 12%. And then had a pretty big trade. And I don't usually buy expensive options, but in the Bung BG, the November 105 calls for Blitz, those calls moved about 40-50% overnight, and out of a very boring stock, BG. So some fun trades. Lost some in PayPal. Should have bought a little bit more time, but it's a fantastic trading market. Especially if you day trade, you gotta love this stuff. What a market.
And Meta, right?
Are you talking to me, Lance?
I was talking to Lance.
You had some lucid puts too, right?
Jeff did.
Good old Facebook. I did a bull risk reversal on Facebook Monday. Sold the weekly bull put credit spread to finance some long calls, and those Facebook calls are Meta, we'll call it nowadays. Those calls are up triple digits today. So very nice. Zuckerberg getting a little pressure to send shares over 100 and firing everyone. So good job, Mark. Glad he did it this week.
11K people down, but still. So Meta is, as the British would say, a mega trade. And Jeff, you did LCID too, is right? Didn't you do that earlier?
Yeah, I did it as a link. I did it as a link trade. I introduced a new link trade yesterday, and we've got 14 puts. We went out a little farther out, not trading weeklies in that strategy, and short lucid. We've had 140% winner in that last month. I like to go back to the well. If I find a way to make money, I do it again. And so I've been shorting a stock lucid for a few months now, and I'm just, timing was right. We pulled the trigger, and puts are up nice. We had a real good week in the Money Flow Elite. We've had DuPont, which is like a boring stock, but boring is good. Lance and I have talked about that in the options pricing world. When you get, and this is why Money Flow Elite is so cool, when you get atypical or abnormal moves in a low beta stock, you get paid very handsomely. So DuPont is low beta. What low beta means is it moves less than the market, typically.
Cheap options.
Cheap option. High beta means the stock moves more than a market, typically, like Moderna.
Like Tesla, NVIDIA, AMD.
Right. So DuPont, we were buying $2.62 calls a week ago. And that stock could easily trade $70 a share, which would make $2 calls worth $8, which is nice. You don't need magic, that you don't need earnings to make a stock move 35% when you find those kind of cases. So pretty happy with what that strategy is doing so far.
That's awesome. How about you, Roger?
We took a profit on DFS, 25%. We took a profit on Campbell Soup, 13%, profit on PPL, 25%, Sniper Mandela, 65%, Codebreaker KMX, 15%. We've been doing pretty good. I'm actually looking last 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Out of the last 12 trades, we had 2 losers. We're doing pretty good, actually. Not bad. Right now, I'll tell you I'm right now building up positions, a bunch of positions in various portfolios for shorts. And that's what I've been really, really focused on. We have a bunch of shorts, and I was a little too early to the party. I was talking to Jeff about this last week. But I think that, let me just share my screen real quick, and I'll show you what I'm kind of, this will give you a very easy way of kind of understanding where I'm looking at right now.
We love it when you share your screen.
Thank
you.
Do
it.
So let me just
always
kind of
interesting.
Bar chart, and I'll just show you what I'm looking at here. I personally think the Dow Jones right now is suckering, and I did a video this morning, and I call it the Dow Jones is suckering you in right now. I really, that's what it was called. And I'll just show you very quickly what I'm seeing here. And what I think is this: I think that you see how every time it goes to the 200-day moving average, it huffs and puffs, and then it suckers people into hope of a bullish market, and then it just comes right back down. And I think we're right there right now at this junction. I think we were here actually about a week ago, and I think the hopes of the election just kind of resumed that bullishness. But it can huff and puff, but there's only so much it can do. We had a report day before yesterday come out that 37% of small businesses cannot pay rent, up from 30% in September. So if the Dow goes bullish right now, let's go to Alaska and let me sell you some ice. You know what I'm saying? We're not ready to go bullish yet. So I am actually taking positions, and I've been building positions in a bunch of stocks like going out stocks like Marriott, this consumer stocks, Marriott, Budweiser, Norwegian Cruise Lines, Six Flags Magic Mountain, which is down because of Disney today, about 6%. Garmin. I'm building a bunch of shorts and a bunch of various portfolios, and I believe as the Dow comes down over the next few weeks, especially after the CPI tomorrow, I think we're going to find those shorts a little very, very fruitful. So I'm actually kind of bearish the broad market, if you will, which is, I'm always usually very selective, but I'm pretty broadly bearish right now.
Even on leisure and travel, huh? Because I know it's been going up a bit in recent weeks, but then Disney's results kind of indicate perhaps a downward turn.
Well, I mean, just look at Disney. I mean, look at Disney today. I mean, look at all of these stocks. All of these stocks have one thing in common, and it's probably good to talk about this here because, I mean, this is what people need to know. They huff and puff, they go up with the market, and then they start coming back down. Same thing with Norwegian Cruise Line. What is it? NCLH. I forget that. You know, stocks that just haven't done well in a while, they look like they're going to be coming right back up. And to think that these stocks are going to start trading above the 200-day moving average right now, I mean, I'm very, very doubtful. I mean, look at Jeff's face. He's cracking up. I mean, it's just not going to happen. I mean, we're not there. We're very far away from.
My wife keeps trying to get me go on a cruise. I'm like, are you serious?
Right.
Hey. I made a lot of money in Norwegian the past couple of weeks.
Oh yeah, so. No, I mean,
don't hate the cruise.
Yeah, we're different. I'm trading the blue wave today. I don't care, and you guys know who I am.
I mean, look, guys. The bottom line is this: you have the Dow Jones. You have 35% of stocks in the Dow trading above the 200-day moving average. In the Nasdaq, 28%, and in the S&P, 39%. All of the stuff that you're seeing is heating up with the 50-day moving average. This is that Great Dane that's dragging the 100-pound woman when he sees a sexy dog across the street. But this is the woman regaining control over that Great Dane right here. Okay, or a kid, whatever. You don't have to be basically somebody who's physically not that strong, and they have a really big dog. The dog gets excited, runs away, runs, and then finally the owner grabs hold of the dog, and that's the bottom line, and that's the foundation. That's the 200-day moving average. And when we start seeing green here and red here, which is exactly what we saw, what we're seeing right now is exactly what we saw. By the way, it's a mirror image of what we saw right here. Let me just show you give you a little prelude to the future right now. Right here. This is exactly what we saw right there. And then we all know what happened. So I think what happened right here is exactly the same thing that's happening right there.
That's a grim thought, Roger.
Hey, I'm being realistic and honest with you. I'm just telling you how I see it, but not everything is that bad. Here's the interesting thing. I think because, and I don't want to dominate the time here, but I think because the FANG stocks had really bad earnings and kind of brought people back to reality. I actually think that a lot of the sectors, like the communication sector, the tech sector, didn't get a chance to run up. So I think there's a lot more safety in terms of in terms of the picking, because you don't have as much volatility in the communication, in the technology, in the consumer discretionary. But in the going out stocks, things like that, you see, they're not at the 200-day moving average. But if you look at the Dow Jones, it's all the way up there, like financials, basic materials. They're not for this world right now. So again, I could be totally wrong. It's happened before. But, that's my 5 cents here.
What are you thinking, Jeff?
Regarding what?
Just what he was saying. You look like you wanted to add a couple of things about the bearish environment, leisure travel.
Well, we got the CPI tomorrow. It's the Super Bowl. Everything's going to change. Nothing matters once that comes out. It's like, they used to have these TV shows where people would get hypnotized on soap operas and they'd be entirely new people. That's how the market's going to be. Laura knows what I'm talking about. We're talking Little General Hospital here for the old heads out there. You know what I'm saying? First he was a bad guy, then someone stares into his eyes and he wakes up and 10 minutes later he's a good guy. That's how the market's going to be after the CPI tomorrow. Going to be totally crazy. Everything's going to change. So 0.6% they're looking for month over month. If we get a lower number, market was looking for a reason to go mental on the upside. I'm not sure that I think a really big number, 0.6 or higher, would be a pretty steep sell-off, but you could probably buy the close tomorrow because I think the market wants to trade higher, at least into the bearish Black Friday numbers. It feels that. I mean, not everything, not like what Roger was showing, like the travel. There's no argument there. A lot of big cap tech is going both ways. I know Lance is getting text messages from Zuckerberg in the middle of the night about who's going to get fired, but the rest of those stocks still look like dog shit. Yeah, it's a bear market. We're getting bear market rallies. You got to trade those rallies, but you can't stay in those things expecting everything to go back to the good old days, in my opinion.
Do you agree about the CPI numbers, Roger, Lance? Do you have any thoughts on that?
I think tomorrow, there's not much mystery. They pretty much told us they look at the core CPI the most. This is the core CPI. I think if it's 6.6, I think right now the only question right now is it going to be 0.5 or 0.75 in December? The bond market is shifting those odds daily. What's interesting this time versus last time, I
disagree. That's not the only question. He left it. That's why the CPI. That's why I didn't mean to interrupt, but
no, please.
Powell opened up he said there's no end game. He said they don't know where the terminal rate's going to end up, which means that before we had assumed it could be 75 and then that's it, or maybe another 25. But now he put the onus back on data dependency because he's saying we haven't seen any efficacy in inflation. He said that, not his words, not mine.
No, true. But he also used the word, I agree with you, but he also used the word lag. He also used the word lag in terms of him waiting and seeing. And here's where I'm going with this. Every morning when I look at my reports, I look at what the bond market prices into their yield, the percentage of rate hikes or drops. Every morning, and if you looked at those numbers, I'm not giving you these numbers. These are numbers that are priced into the bond market. Right. So if you looked at those numbers last time, it was like 96%. It was going to be 0.75. It was like there wasn't much of an argument there. Right now, as of this morning, and I did the report on it this morning in my morning video, it was 56%, 0.75, 40-something, 44%, 45%, 0.50. They've been moving back and forth every day. They've been moving. Like last week, 0.50 was a slightly higher than this week.
But you don't think if we get a massive number tomorrow that rates could rip higher and that the terminal rate could be much higher. A new ceiling could be met.
Well, that's where I was going. So I think I just wanted to finish. So I think that after tomorrow, we're not going to have that 50-50, 45-55. I think it's going to be very clear, a lot more clear cut in where we're going to go, and it's going to be a lot more directionally biased, much more in line with how it was the last couple of times we were in the situation. Again, I agree with you 100%. I'm not disagreeing with you. All I'm saying is we won't right now, if you look at those numbers, they're just a lot different than they were last time around. They're 45, 55. It's very unknown. And what I'm saying is after tomorrow, it's going to be a lot more crystal clear where we are going. But to tell you what I'm looking at, I think is this. They're looking at the core 6.6. I think if it's like 6.7, 6.8, I think he's going to go 7.5. If it's 6.5, 6.4, which I don't think is going to happen, I think he's going to go 0.50. But if it's like 7.1, if it's like a crazy number, all bets are off the table. But we are going to have a much better picture of what they're going to do in December tomorrow. And my point was that there's so much more uncertainty right now in comparison to how it was a few months ago, which I think will be broken after tomorrow.
So Judy's asking, so should we trade anything before we hear the CPI results, or should we wait to reduce any risk potential? Do you think, should somebody be trading today, or should they be holding off until the results tomorrow? What do you think?
Yeah, you should trade. You should trade.
I was going to say, you're going to always trade, right?
Yeah, you should trade, but you should understand that every time we've had this number for the last 6 months, you've had a mega move in the stock market. You just have. And most of those moves have been shitty. They've been bearish. And that's because the Fed is trying to get inflation to 2%. We're talking about, is it going to be 7%? Is it going to be 6.7%? This guy, not me, he was there yet last week. Remember, the stock market crashed when he started talking, was saying, I want to see inflation at 2%. I haven't seen anything we're doing working yet. That's what he said. He said there's going to be a lag, but the market crashed. It didn't like go up when he said lag. It started crashing because he goes, I don't know where we're going to stop. I don't know where we're going to stop. So what he did was he made those numbers much more important than they had to be. Those CPIs, et cetera, et cetera. He prolonged those, us being very data dependent and those things being super critical, in my opinion.
I think you could be right about that. While I have you right there, Jeff, we were talking about the elections. So you were thinking if we had a big red wave, then we would see all the clean and green stocks kind of crash today. Do you think if we do end up, I know everything's still up in the air, if we do end up with a Republican majority, are you still anticipating that?
The Republican majority is already priced into the House. The Senate's not going to happen. The Senate's probably not going to happen. So that's probably not. So that's why it's being called a red. That's why I went out this morning and I said, I've been talking red wave, red wave, red wave. I'm wrong. We had our wave in Florida, perhaps why I've been basking in this red glow. But as a trader, the first thing you have to do is admit when you're wrong and figure out how you can make money. So was it a decisive win for either side? It was not. But what it was a lifeline for Joe Biden, who everyone was looking to get knocked out last night. He did not get knocked out last night. He did not. So a lot of his policies, a lot of his agenda, well, they're not going to be as buoyant and they're not going to have the full force of a combined executive and legislative branch behind them, are going to still be alive invariably. So solar trade's not clear-cut loser. Energy, for me, is getting hit today on that news, right? But should you sell energy stocks because of the fact that it wasn't a massive red wave? I don't know. I don't think so. I think energy stocks are still a buy longer term because the fundamental underpinnings don't matter as much. You see what I'm saying? So from situation to situation, there's different degrees of dependency on the election outcome.
Lance, do you see any trends related to the election? Do you think there's going to be any impact?
I mean, the clean energy stocks, even Plug Power had earnings. Stock was up about $2 and now it's flat on the day. So the EV, clean energy, all that is already getting hit, which I'm actually kind of shocked because I thought I thought if it was a red wave, they would go down, but the way it turned out is they're still getting sold. I do think a lot of it is, in one sector, we talked about Lucid, you got Rivian reporting tonight, is all these kind of hype, and I'll just call most of the companies are frauds and are never going to make money, and they'll be penny stocks in months or years from now, is, they're finally getting their day in hell. It's finally doomsday for them, and it has been. You look at, Rivian, Lucid, Fisker, Neo, any EV hype name from last year that you're getting newsletters about that's going to change the world and lithium batteries, blah, blah, blah. That shit ain't true. It's never been true. I called the Nikola fraud. I had a guy on here said, my wife works at Lucid Motors. I say, well, they're probably going to go bankrupt in a little bit. And he's like, no way. It was like a $60 stock. Now you look today, it's, printing what, $11 or so. Like,
well, they have to raise $1 billion lickety split with like interest rates in the sky just to subsist and make no cars to sell to no people. So yeah, there's only so long that you can keep that business model up when you can get risk-free 5% from the US government.
And that's what's happened a lot to a lot of these high flyer stocks, is just they just continue to get crushed. And they were favorites of people, your Twilios, your Upstart, your Affirm, and these stocks are down like 80-90% or so, and there's no coming back at all. I don't care if you're right, left wing, whatever, there's just no hope. That game is over. But if you look at the old school names out there, your Boeings, your McDonald's, your good old fashioned stocks, your Oracles, I mean, these are some of the strongest stocks in the market out there that just continue to see buying. So sticking with what works, and you see that in the options market, you keep seeing the put activity in the crap stocks, and they're already so low price. It's not like you can, short the top and make a ton of money, but you're seeing rotation. We've been talking about Boeing the past couple of weeks, just into these kind of boring stocks out there, but they look really, really good. So I'm going to continue to trade the crap to the downside and look for bullish opportunities. And the old school kind of boring stocks out there.
Roger. Go ahead.
Go ahead, Laura.
I was just going to see if there was anything Roger wanted to add in there. I also want to talk about cryptos, so we'll get. Yeah, I did
actually. Jeff brought up a really good point that I haven't seen anybody bring up before, and it's absolutely true. The fact that before Powell got really into his financial intermingling business, people really were not focused on the CPI nearly as much as they are right now. They're looking at the CPI right now like it's the second coming. So he really did change that, and it's very true. I've never really heard anyone talk about it, but it's 100% true. It's a little disturbing, to be honest with you. But I just wanted to add that comment. I think it's a very, very good point, and it's 100% true.
It's because they have no plan and they're reactionary.
Yeah, right.
When you're reactionary and you have no plan, then you're going to be like flying in the wind with every new little morsel of news that comes out.
Yeah, but I got to say that CPI right now, I mean, people are looking at that CPI like it's the GDP. It's become extremely important. And once this type of environment dissipates, it won't be nearly as important as it's become in the last 3 to 6 months.
True.
Excellent. So crypto crashing, Binance acquiring FTX. Jeff,
can I tell you all a story?
I want to hear a story.
So this is
more fraud,
fascinating story that I've heard in a while. I love finance, I don't know, like crime stories. This is what I will classify this in the finance true crime department of the bookstore.
Dun, dun, dun.
It's going to be a great book. I might write this book, but it was unbelievable story. So I don't know if you know this guy, Sam Blankman-Fried. The guy's like 30 years old. He's got crazy hair. Well, anyways, he just set the world record for the largest percentage drop in net worth for any billionaire ever. He lost 94% of his net worth in one day. The guy who founded FTX. So it turns out FTX, for those of you guys that don't know crypto at home, and I'm going to get to the part why this matters to everything else in a moment for the stocks. FTX was last month valued at $32 billion, which is like New York Stock Exchange valuation. Chicago Mercantile, FTX, right? They own the Miami Heat arena here in Miami. Massive company, was a massive company. So this guy had set up this fund called Alameda. It was a crypto fund that he also owned. So he was the founder of FTX and he was the founder of Alameda. Walk with me a little bit longer. Alameda, their number one holding was a crypto coin that FTX created out of thin air. Out of thin air. That was the valuation of their entire company. So basically, he had a shell company, a fake company, a trading company, which was allowed to do what, this is what happens when you don't have regulations. So people are saying, oh, we're going to have regulations, we're getting there, but obviously we're still not there. I haven't even gotten to the cool part yet. So he set up this Ponzi scheme trading company to pump up the price of their fake coin to make his exchange more valuable. Okay. In doing so, he got people like Tom Brady, Giselle, all kinds of famous people to go, here's 25 million, here's 50 million, here's 100 million. Crypto exchanges are the future. I got to be a part of this. I don't want dollar bills. I don't want euros. And this is the guy. And this is the thing, FTX, right? Now, over in China is the 800-pound gorilla of crypto exchanges called Binance. Binance. It's a Chinese company who's under huge pressure from the US government because they operate in the shadow of financial shadows. Like we're talking about like Afghanistani heroin trading, money laundering type of bowels of international finance. Binance. They also use huge leverage, which is illegal in the United States in crypto. So Binance, because of all the craziness that the Chinese allow them to do, became the monster of crypto. So Binance basically exposed the scam that was happening at FTX in order to acquire FTX, to take over it, to consolidate it. What happened as a result was all cryptos crashed. All cryptos crashed. It came out yesterday in the middle of the day. It caused stocks to also crash, particularly growth stocks, particularly Coinbase and MicroStrategy and other crypto-based stuff. Why does this matter? Well, when I used to trade, there was a little guy called Madoff, and Madoff had a massive Ponzi scheme. And guess what happened when Madoff's Ponzi scheme went kaput? The stock market also crashed because size matters. And when rich people lose money in one place, they pull money out of other places and they get really nervous and scared about everything. So it was just a little story. I hope I didn't take too much of your time, but it's something you got to pay really close attention to. And I think it's just starting for crypto. I'm a long-term crypto proponent, but I luckily sold when Powell went totally nuts and was like, we're crushing everything growth. I kicked all my crypto out because I'm like, there's no way this shit's going to survive if this guy's raising interest rates into Foreverland, right? But this story with FTX, the bodies that are going to float to the surface of this thing and the knockoff effects for the rest of finance could be the biggest story for the rest of bigger than the Fed. I think it could end up being for the rest of 2022.
It's the biggest fraud and the biggest BS that the market has experienced, and sadly, the market is moving pretty much one-on-one correlation these past few days with the price of Bitcoin and these cryptos.
It would be like the New York Stock Exchange creating a hedge fund that made a fake purchase in the New York Stock Exchange's stock, and then the Beijing or the Shanghai Exchange exposed that reality in order to buy the New York Stock Exchange. And in doing so, crashed everybody's stocks. That would be the equivalent of that in crypto. Totally freaking insane. But I love this kind of shit. Like I said, finance crime on steroids. Enron made like it's in that genre. And it's going to have knock-on effects for everything, particularly like stock and Ponzi type of stocks.
So Roger, I see you brought up
Thanks for indulging me. Just
no, that's a great story. And thank you for putting in perspective with the market. That was well done. So Roger, I see you have the page up about the CFTC.
Yeah, I'm a bottom line kind of guy. And I predicted about 2 years ago, I said, guys, cryptos are great, But remember AOL, remember internet in the 90s. It's a great tool, but we're not prime time yet. The way we're using cryptos for trading and doing this is not it. Like all of these things that are coming out, NFTs, these are great ways for the future to be able to track things and transact things. But if anybody thinks that a picture of a monkey with a NFT is going to be worth billions of dollars, you know, really, let's be real here. So I said what I've been saying this now for a few months. The CFTC is now regulating crypto. The fun is over. Everything that makes crypto sexy and pretty and all that thing, the transparency, the non-regulatory, the cowboy, it's done. It's finished. It's over. It'll never happen again. Whenever the CFTC comes in and starts regulating, like they start regulating all digital assets, all currency assets, all FX assets, it takes all the fun out of it, and it's all going to go downhill. And again, now you're going to see the popularity of crypto and Bitcoin go way down from a trading perspective. And then you're going to see a lot of scientists start using it for what it was designed to be used for in about 3 to 10 years. So as soon as this happened, should have been a big red flag for everybody to stop playing the game that they were playing, because the CFTC put an end to it. All the fun stuff that made cryptos what they were are done. They're finished. It's over. It's over. So I just want to give you guys that perspective. Now, 10 years from now, you're going to be seeing crypto for totally different purposes than we're using them now. NFTs are going to be amazing for tracking valuables like paintings. You're going to have a lot less theft and art, intangibles. But the way we're using it now to paint a monkey and put an NFT on it and then price it at a gazillion dollars, those days are over. Bitcoin trading hype is all that stuff is done. It is done, and it was finished when the FTC did this. And that's what I wanted to say. That's the bottom line. Okay.
Well, before we go for today,
the CFTC didn't save anybody yesterday.
Nope.
They took a 90% haircut on their investments.
Oh, absolutely. Of course. Oh,
$32 billion went vamoosh.
If you think the CFTC is out there to protect anyone, we'll have another conversation for another day. But you know, it's political, it's regulatory. We can talk about the politics of it for till the cows come home, and we'll probably agree. But the bottom line is,
I just don't think that they've like gotten their meat hooks into it yet. Which story.
This is just beginning. Yeah, they're just. This is just the. I mean, wait 5 years. Wait till you see the kind of other amazing stories that Jeff will be telling us about cryptos. This is just the beginning. This is just the tip of the iceberg. That's my opinion.
I want to go back for a minute though to Lance's discussion about this market environment exposing frauds. I think that's an interesting thing. Like how do you trade on that, Lance?
Well, let me bring this up because I do not mess with the crypto. I've never had, and I do not give a darn about the CPI, MSI, CNBC, FI. I don't follow any of the fundamentals or any of that stuff. It's not my cup of tea. All I do is trade institutional order flow in the options market. And if you want to trade, because this is, like I said, the best trading market, I think, in my opinion, in a long time, especially if you day trade, we're seeing so much volume and longs and shorts out there, meaning money is moving in and out of stocks, certain stocks, not money obviously out of the crypto names into the boring names. Good rotation out there. So what I do is I have my option scanner that I created, and it spits me out orders, usually about a dozen or so a day. So I take at least 2 to 3 trades a week on the Blitz strategy. All I do is trade institutional order flow. I ain't the smartest person in the world, but I could copy them. So that's what I want to do. And I've been doing this, trading this way for maybe 7, 8 years with my scanner nonstop. And in my opinion, it's the best way to take advantage of big bets coming into certain stocks with the whole craziness and political landscape we are in. And permabull Lance, I've turned permabullish the past couple of weeks. I think we're going to see a rally into year end and to start Q1 of 2023. So we want to give you a chance to trade my premium program, the weekly Blitz Alerts, and we're looking for hidden moves in the options market. There's no dark pools. There's no funny business. We can see it in time and sales, clear as day. Each option trade is time stamped and approved. So we get the inside scoop out there. We take these trades. Sometimes they're dealing with politics, earnings, analyst events out there, and we want to run strong to finish off the year all the way till 2023. So we have 3 months full of alerts. You get at least 2 trade alerts a week at minimum. Some weeks you'll get more. They're very active trades, very short-term options, very cheap options. And usually when you trade short-term options, they are very sensitive. So they move very, very quickly, higher and lower. You get each trade via text, email, and Telegram, so you never send an alert. I personally write all the trade stuff, see the trades, you get them very, very quickly. Know it's me out there because I'm very active in the markets. You get my trade tracker, you get my weekly Blitz premium videos, you get my daily Blitz videos, you get over 10 hours of option education and trading, and hopefully you can use this and start making some big trades on your own. So we have a special, and let's see what that special is. It is not $2,000 like it normally is, and it's well worth it. On the website for the show today, and for all the fine people in the audience who just want to trade some damn good option short-term trades and not worry about the political or the crypto environment, we want to remove all doubts for this deal. You get 30 days. If you don't like it, call up the team, say, give me my money and get your damn money back. So you got 30 days. If you can't make it, try. If you can, sign up now. It's a very special offer of only $2.99. It's basically like going to Costco on a Saturday, and you get to try free samples for 30 days. Go to wealthpress.com/roundtable. Click the link in the chat. BG was great. Thank you. Nothing political about that. No crypto, nothing, none of that stuff. Just outright short-term option trades. And, you know, I got my skin in the game. So obviously I want to do the best and I want to win as much as possible. Or you could call 877-212-2646. You get a lot of intel and it's a real good deal. If you are a member, thank you. If you want to renew, call that 877-212-2646 number and try it out. If I go on a bad run the next 30 days, get your darn money back. I don't blame you, but obviously I don't want to go on a bad run. I want to keep running good. Go to wealthpress.com/roundtable. Let's get some trades going. It's a good intraday short-term trading environment. Listen, I got a 401k. I don't even look at it anymore where I buy and hold because it's that bad right now. And I know people can feel me on that. So I'm not doing my buy and hold stuff. I'm doing very, very active short-term trades. And that is kind of the goal of the Blitz program, trading institutional order flow in the options market. It is strictly option trades. If you're not familiar with options, we have so much education in the members area. Always get comfortable, confident in your trading before you put real money on the line. So try it out if you can. If you can't, no worries. And I usually try to trade live. To be honest, I feel like once a week nowadays, but I usually try to do like a members only live trade at least 2 to 3 times a month.
Yeah, I think those are especially helpful. So this is for a 3-month offer, right? It's a quarterly offer. So if somebody's considering becoming a member, this is a really great opportunity. Right?
Yes, especially for the $2.99. Usually it's like $2,000 basically a year. So you got to try it out for a very, very special deal.
Someone asked, how does this differ from wiretaps? From your other
wiretap
strategies?
is trades strictly from Friday, and then we look to close them out either Monday or Tuesday.
Weekend wiretaps, right?
This is, you're going to get, when I say risky trades, full disclosure, I mean it. When we're trading short-term options, they are high risk, high reward. So I'm not shooting for like 5-10%. You know, if I put a trade on, it's either going to move. So hopefully, 30, 40, 50, 100%, or the trade's going to be cut in half or go to zero. That's just being honest. So I'm trading earnings, trading analyst events. Like to give you an example, I might buy some Rivian puts for earnings. Stock goes up, puts are going to go to zero, right? Usually how it works. I'll trade momentum, like short-term momentum strategies. Like, hey, we did BG. I said if the stock can break out over 103, the stock can run. Next day, the stock ran, broke out over 103, made a good trade on that. Las Vegas Sands is another name. We really, really like trading for the service out there. So it's more swing trading, way more during the week trading than just Fridays on wiretaps. And it's very cheap option. So if you have a small account, I would say, let's say $2,000 account minimum, very, very friendly. I think the average option we do is maybe like $1, maybe $1.50. We do some options for 30 cents, some for, I would say max $2. So very, 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 very friendly if you are, if you like buying outright calls and puts and not putting on a lot of capital per trade.
Yeah, it's a great service, folks. It's a very solid service. It's a service that Lance has had for a very long time, and people are very, very happy with it. I think the win rate is like 68, 70%, very high probability. Definitely
78.8%.
Yeah.
I didn't even see that on the bottom. Look at that.
Yeah.
68%.
Yes,
there we go.
The win rate. Yeah, the win rate
yes.
for the last 2 years, which says it's very, very stable. If you can get a win rate over 2 years of close to 70%, you definitely have an edge. And Lance is showing real life signals of 68% with an average winner of 78% over 8 days. That's very, very attractive. So you definitely want to take advantage at this price. This is a no-brainer. We sold this program for over $1,000 for a very, very long time, and you're getting a very good opportunity. Do it right now. You guys know I don't BS you. I'm very serious about this stuff. It's a great, great program, and options are provided. Doug, this is the second time Doug is asking. Doug, everything you need to know, everything Lance does, options are provided.
Listen up, Doug.
I will tell you too, from the editorial team's perspective, we do track all of the track records. We also have a third party that verifies all of the track records. And though past performance is no indication of future results, I will tell you this, that this particular strategy blitz has been one of the most successful we've seen in these markets. So it's been a very strong performance record in these markets. So completely distracted by Alex giving me a compliment. Thank you, Alex. And look
at Laura reading a risk disclaimer. Manny had a 71.3% on BG in a day. Dang, good job, Manny. But yeah, thank you, Laura. and look at her reading the risk. There is always some risk in trading, folks. I've had good days. I've had bad days. I lost a lot of money in Starbucks this year, and I was it was not a fun day, but that's trading. You have winners, you have losers, have favorable risk versus rewards. And I try to go over that in the training in the members area. So at least at the end of the day, you'll at least get a lot of option and trading education if you want to try it out. So please do if you can. If you can't, no worries. And you'll probably see me trading live if you're a member, probably in the next week or two.
Yeah.
So feel free to bring all your questions. Marianne, I am searching right now, and probably by the end of the day, you'll get a trade, another one, and then maybe another one and another one. But I always have my option scanners. I filter probably 10,000 orders a day on one of my other screens where I see pretty much every 500 lot that hits the option tape. And then obviously I narrow it down to certain trade criterias for the trade alerts, the official trade alerts.
One of these days we should have Conrad on the show. He's our third party who verifies all of our claims.
Oh, we can talk about wine. We can talk about traveling and wine tasting in Italy. That would be fun.
Yes,
I love
he's
that
also
guy.
an Italian wine expert.
Yes.
Playboy
I'm
too.
jealous of him. I'm jealous. I tell him every day, I'm like, Conrad, I want your life. I want your life. He's like, I'm in Italy wine tasting right now. I'm like, yes, I'd love to join you in doing that right now.
And I mean
Bye,
this
guys.
in the nicest way. if you guys have seen this guy, he is a ponytail, half bald, middle-aged. You would not think
German.
he was ever in Playboy in his life. Put it that way. And I couldn't believe the story.
Oh, you're talking about my guy now?
Yes,
Oh,
he was.
talking about Conrad.
And he audits our trade alerts.
He does. He does.
He's actually a doctor. He has a doctorate in Germany. He is German. He lives just
is he
outside
really
of Munich.
A doctor?
Yes.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
I had like an hour
he's a college
conversation
professor.
about. I had like an hour conversation about death metal over like a lot of scotch with him.
Didn't we go? Didn't you and I have dinner with him, Jeff? In the
Pontevedra.
Yeah, we had dinner with with him and his wife. Yeah. It was fun. It was great.
Just a couple months ago. Yeah.
Oh wait, at the barbecue spot?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I met him in Nashville afterwards. We're old friends.
Yeah.
He's
nice.
He's an interesting guy.
Very much so. We definitely should have him one day on this session. It would be fun. Folks, it was a great day. I'll see you guys in my VIP room in about 15 minutes. And check this offer out. It's really hot, and Lance is red hot. I mean, it's a challenging market. Lance has been just killing it, destroying it, obliterating it. Check it out. There's a link right there, and I'll see you guys later. Bye, Laura. Bye, Lance. Bye,
Thank you,
Jeff.
Roger.
Bye, Francisco.
Thanks, everyone. Next week, we'll see you at Wednesday, 11 a.m. Probably we're going to have Don Yoakum on next week. I'm waiting for him to confirm. So mixing it up a little bit.
Yeah.
Right.
We got to get Garrett on here one of these days too. That'll be fun.
We got to bring him back. We love having our boy Garrett on. So good
Bye,
to see
guys.
everybody.
Have a great week. Good trading, everyone.
Bye.
Thanks for joining us today.
If you haven't yet, go ahead and click the link before we close down the room. Thank you, Laura. Have a great one.
Thank you, Francisco. Peace out.
Bye. Take care.